Hare Krishna. So today we'll be reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 15, the killing of Dhenuka, the ass demon. In the previous class, yesterday, we covered Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 14, Brahma's prayers to Lord Krishna. Here we covered very beautiful prayers and the various blessings that the chapter contained. So today in this class, please join us and we will be starting with little Kirtan, followed by reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 15, verse 1. And after that, we'll end up with some more Kirtan. So again, we will be covering some lessons as well as some of the teachings that we can bring to our life. And we can live on those principles and the values that we learn from this lesson. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari, Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari, Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato jayam udiryet
Tato Jayamudirye
Shavtam swa katha Krishna
Shravtam Sa Katha Krishna
Punya shamana kirtanaha
Punya Shravana Kirtana
Hridayantasto bhadrani
Hridayantasta Bhadrani
Vidunoti suhasatam
Vidunoti Suhritsatam
Nashtaprayashu bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhāgavata sevaya
Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya
Bhagavate uttam shloke
Bhagavate Ruttam Shloke
Bhaktir bhavti naishtiki.
Bhakti Bhakti Naishtiki
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So
Krishna.
let's get started. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 10th canto, chapter 15, verse 1. Shri Shaka Uvacha
Shri Shakuvacha
Tatasya Pangar Vayashitau Vraje
Tatasya Pankandavaya Shito Vraje
Babhuvatusta Pashupala Sammato
Babhuvatusto Pashupala Sammato
Ghashacharanto Sankhivihi Samam Padair
Ghascharyanto Sakhibhi Samam Pade
Vrindavanam Punyativa Chakratuhu.
Vrindavanam Punyam Ativa Chakratu
Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Shukuvacha
Shri Shukdev Goswami said,
Shri Shukadev Goswami said
Tataha,
Tata
then,
then
cha,
Cha
and
and
Pauganda Vayaha,
Paugandavaya
the age of Pauganda,
the age of Paganda
years 6 to 10,
years 6 to 10
Shetao,
Shrutau
attaining
attaining
Vraje
Vraje
in Vrindavan,
in Vrindavan
Babhuvatuhu,
Bhagavatu
they,
they
Ram and Krishna,
Ram and Krishna
became
became
Tao,
the
the two of them,
two of them
Pashupal,
Pashupal
as cowherds,
as cowherds
Sammatao,
Samvatau
appointed,
appointed
Gaha,
Gaha
the cows,
the cows
Charayanto,
Charyanto
tending,
tending
Sakhibihi Samam,
Sakhivi Samam
along with their friends,
along with their friends
Padehe,
Padai
with the marks of their feet,
with the marks of their feet
Vrindavanam,
Vrindavanam
Shri Vrindavan,
Shri Vrindavan
Punyam,
Punyam
auspicious,
auspicious
Ativ,
Ati
extremely,
extremely
Chakratu,
Chakratu
they made.
they made
Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace as Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Shukdev Goswami said, when Lord Ram and Lord Krishna attained the age of Pauganda, 6 to 10, while living in Vrindavan, the cowherd men allowed them to take up the task of tending the cows. Engaging thus in the company of their friends, the two boys rendered the land of Vrindavan most auspicious by imprinting upon it the marks of their lotus feet. Purport. Lord Krishna wanted to encourage his cowherd boyfriends who had been swallowed by Aghasur and then stolen by Lord Brahma. Therefore, the Lord decided to bring them into the palm tree forest called Talvan, where there were many delicious ripe fruits. Since Lord Krishna's spiritual body had apparently grown slightly in age and strength, the senior men of Vrindavan, headed by Nand Maharaj, decided to promote Krishna from the task of herding calves to the status of a regular cowherd boy. He would now take care of the full-grown cows, bulls and oxen. Out of great affection, Nand Maharaj had previously considered Krishna too small and immature to take care of full-grown cows and bulls. It is stated in the Kartika Mahatmya section of the Padma Purāṇa. Shuklashtami Kartike tu Samata Gopashtami Buddhe Tadadinad Vasudevo Abhud Gopaha Purvam tu Vatsapaha. The 8th lunar day of the bright fortnight of the month of Kartika is known by the authorities as Gopashtami. From that day, Lord Vasudeva served as a cowherd, whereas previously he had tended the cows. The word Padaya indicates that Lord Krishna blessed the earth by walking on her surface with his lotus feet. The Lord wore no shoes or other foot gear, but walked barefoot in the forest, giving great anxiety to the girls of Vrindavan, who feared that his soft lotus feet would be injured. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatadham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So it's starting with a new chapter, means with a new beginning of change of scene is happening. Where previously Lord Krishna was tending cows, and now he has been promoted to tend the cows. Here on this day, which is the 8th day of the Ashtami of the month of Kartik, Lord Krishna is very sad. And so he is sad. Do you know what the reason he is sad? Why would Lord Krishna, who is Atmaram, always happy, is feeling sad on this occasion? Because he is missing his consort, Srimati Radharani. And at that time, seeing Lord Krishna so sad, the other cowherd boys, they were, of course, they were able to see that Krishna is very sad. And even though this is such a nice occasion where he is now allowed to tend to the cows, bulls and oxen, yet at the same time, there is some void. So when you are celebrating something like Nand Maharaj is carrying out great worship on this day, the cows are also worshipped, and then the worship's done for Lord Balaram as well as Lord Krishna. Yet at the same time, Krishna is feeling a little void. Why do you think the void would be there? He is Atmaram. Why would he feel the void? So there is a great mystery behind this, and his friend Subal, Sakha, so again Sakha is friend, Subal is able to understand what is in Lord Krishna's heart. So this is the characteristic of a great friend, right? If someone is your friend, then there are different categories of friends. So somebody who has been very close to you, right? Sometimes a friend would be like, okay, they're a friend because they need help from you. They're dependent on you. So they are friend in need, not friend indeed. And then the second kind of friend is, they will say, okay, they will ask you. So the first one is like the third class friend, where they are there only when they need you. And then when they don't need you, they don't care about you. Then the second class friend is at least they will inquire. Like, why are you feeling so sad? And just try to calm you down. The first class friend would understand what is dear to your heart and what is troubling you. And so they will make every endeavor to keep you on the right path, right? Not just to satisfy you, but also to keep you on the right path. And so Lord Krishna is feeling void, she is feeling sad because he is missing Radharani. And Subal, realizing what Lord Krishna is feeling, he tells Lord Krishna that he should not worry, and soon there will be some arrangement. So this is where Subal goes to meet Radharani, and he basically sends one of the calves in Radharani's, mother-in-law's home. So in the cow shed area. And so he comes in rushing and saying, oh, my calf came here. So Radharani's mother-in-law, and again the sister-in-law and mother-in-law, they are always suspecting there is something going on between Krishna and Radharani. So they are always careful, what is going on? And they know this Subala is a friend of Krishna. So she says, go quickly, identify your calf and, leave immediately. So at that time, he goes into the stable where the cows are there, the calves are there, and there he sees Radharani. And at that time, he reveals to Radharani that Lord Krishna is feeling void, he is feeling sad, because on such a wonderful occasion, she is not there with him. So understanding this, and Subal is also very thin, just like Radharani, same complexion, similar, bodily features. So she changes the dress with Subal, and she immediately, covering her face with the cloth, like the cowherd boy, they tie this cloth, and she immediately picks up the calf and she runs out. And as she was running out, the mother-in-law, she says, so are you leaving? And she immediately, yes, nods her head and just leaves. And here Subal is in her dress, in the cowshed. So again, Subal has to somehow pass the time without being caught. And since his physique is very much like that of Radharani, he is able to carry it out very nicely. So that's a friend in need. That's the first class friend he's showing us. And then of course, when Radharani comes, Krishna is all jubilant. And Radharani is in the Gopa dress. So on this occasion in the temples, we see Radharani, we can see her feet. And similarly, other cowherd, other gopis, young gopis, the Sakhis of Radharani, they were also able to participate on this occasion. It's very nicely given. That they were able to participate, and then, the cause of worship is done, worship for Krishna Balaram's safety is done, and Nand Maharaj very nicely, let the boys take. So this is where they have approached the Pangada age and they are allowed to take the cows. So this is a sweet pastime of Gopa Ashtami, where it is also teaching us that when we want to celebrate something, then we should not forget about our well-wishers and also not forget about our family, the close ones. So this is where, when the devotees, where we hold satsang, we keep the doors open. And, especially for grahasthas, Srila Prabhupada gave a very nice example. He said that we should always be keeping the doors open so that if there is someone in need, they can ask for help. So in today's time, things are changing, right? With COVID-19, you would not do that. So again, you need to use your intelligence in today's time and allow people to, meet their needs without having to get infected. So you have to be very, very careful in today's times. And you need to make sure, so again, we were looking at one of the recording from Czech Republic, that they are able to cause the declination in the number of infections, right? The people, they immediately went down, and there was one thing they shared, that everyone is wearing masks for the protection of themselves, saying that I protect you by wearing mask and you should wear a mask so you protect me. So that is a very simple thing. So if you go out and interact with people, if you do have to, and so of course we don't wish that you have to, but if there is a condition, then you make sure that you wear a mask. So again, proper precautions should be taken. Now here, as Lord Krishna is revealing that when we don't have the devotee association, we don't have the association of our dear ones, and who's more dear than Lord Krishna, and who's more dear than the devotees of Lord Krishna? So they're very dear to our heart, and so we always seek to serve them, yet at the same time welcome them in our homes. So when we hold satsang, we want to do it with the devotees. We want to, so this is virtual occasion we have to be with you all, with all the Vaishnavas online who are able to engage with us on this wonderful occasion where we are reading chapter 15, the killing of Dhenuka, the ass demon. And now there are wonderful pastimes have been described in this chapter, as how Lord Krishna and the Gopa boys, they would take the cows and then they would play all day, right? Just like they were doing in the cows, but now as they are grown up, they are doing more, grown up like games, as we will hear further. So many times as they would play, Balaram, he would get tired, right? He would feel tired. So he would just go under the shade of a tree, and if there's a Gopa boy sitting, he would just put his head in the lap of the Gopa boys. And the Gopa boys will very nicely massage his head, and Krishna would come and he will start pressing the lotus feet of Lord Balaram and giving pleasure to him. So now sometimes people are amazed, how is it possible that Krishna is pressing the lotus feet of Lord Balaram? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, while Balaram is the original personality of Servitor Godhead. So he is the best servant, he is the Adi Guru. So he is constantly looking to serve Krishna, and yet at the same time Krishna is serving him. Very nice example is given where sometimes when a child is walking with his father and they are playing and so forth, and the child gets tired, right? Then father starts to massage the feet of the child. Now does that mean that now that the father has taken a lower position? No, it's not the case. It is very simple that because of the love between the father and the son, father has taken. Same thing can be said about two brothers. When two brothers are playing together, the older one is of course taking care of the younger one. But if older one gets hurt, the younger one immediately comes and tries to find solution how to relieve the pain that the elder brother is facing. So this is a loving exchange, and there are many such pastimes where loving exchanges are being shared. There are many pictures, means again, Srila Prabhupada used to give instructions and insight to many of his disciples who were great painters, who are still great painters, and they would make such wonderful paintings. And it's very interesting that, in one of the cases, Srila Prabhupada was saying that one of the lady painters, she would paint, Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Krishna with long hair, and he would, try to say no. But then one of the disciples said, but Gauranga Mahaprabhu has long hairs. So when Gauranga Mahaprabhu has long hair, he hears that, then Srila Prabhupada says, yes, Gauranga Mahaprabhu has long hair and he's a hippie. But he has come to save you. So he is a hippie and he has come to save you. When he says that, because of his accent, they couldn't understand whether Srila Prabhupada said save you or shave you. So, and Prabhupada immediately got the glimpse because of the confused face. So he said, yes, he has come to save you and shave you. Because devotees, they get this hairstyle of a shaved head. So this is what he is identifying. So it's very wonderful pastime as where Lord Krishna and Balaram, they are reciprocating, just like cowherd boys, they are wandering in the forest, tending the cows. Surbhiya vipalayantam. So in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma is singing that Lord is always engaging in serving Surbhi cows. So they are these cows of Nand Maharaj, and Krishna and Balaram, they are taking care. And now Balaram is son of Rohini and son of Vasudeva. Yet at the same time, it is said that his two sons, Nand Maharaj, sends his two sons to the forest with the cows. Now it is very interesting because in the absence of Vasudeva, he was in that position because he's an older brother, half brother, yes, half cousin. He's an older brother yet of Vasudeva, and Vasudeva is very dear to him. He's so dear to him that Vasudeva also feels that Nand Maharaj is very dear to him, that he names two of his sons after Nandan's Upananda. So here, Nand Maharaj is acting like father. He is really taking care of these, the Supreme Personality of Godheads in this case. The personalities are there, Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna. And as they are wandering into in the forest and they are playing different games with the cowherd boys, many wonderful things are happening, many wonderful events are happening. Now here, it is said that as, Madhav enters the forest. So again, when Lord is addressed as Madhav, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a very nice description as how to explain the word Madhav. When Lord Krishna enters the forest, of course we see Kartik, right? Kartik is in the fall season, right? Which is October and November time frame. Yet at the same time, Madhav also means the husband of the goddess of fortune. It also means spring. So it is said that when Lord Krishna would enter the forest, everything would appear like spring. Everything would be blooming, just opposite to what the fall season says, right? And so Lord Krishna would just enter the forest and everything would be like spring. And the description this chapter is given is very beautiful. That, soft breeze is flowing everywhere, and it is carrying the aroma of the 100 petals lotuses from the lake, which are clear, with pure water and so forth. Everything is beautifully, laid out. All the trees are very green. There are birds chirping. The bees are humming. And Lord Krishna, looking at Balaram, once, putting his hand around his shoulder, says, "Oh my dear brother, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that when Lord Krishna is addressing Balaram, he's saying it in a smiling, joking manner. So he's describing it because Balaram wants to hear what is it that Krishna wants to tell me next, right? When somebody gives you such a designation which actually belongs to you, so you would be, the person would be interested. So here, Krishna is saying, because he's seeing that all the branches of the trees are heavy with the flowers and fruits, and they're, bowing down, they're bending down as to touch Lord Krishna's feet. But Lord Krishna is saying that these trees, which are like the impersonal sages, right? They are the Jnanis, as they have been, just like Jnanis are covered. So because of their effulgence, they cannot see past their effulgence at the face of the Lordship, knowing that the cause of Brahman is, Bhagwan, Lord Shri Krishna himself. So similarly, these trees are in ignorance, but they are bowing down so as to be delivered, and in love they are bowing down to touch your feet. And so they are liberated. So that's how everything in Vrindavan is alive. So in Golok Vrindavan, everything is alive. And Lord Krishna is very nicely telling, and also we heard in the Brahma Vimohan Lila earlier, as how everything means when Lord Brahma sees and the Yog Maya curtain is lifted, at that time he sees that everything is alive and everything is transcendental in that transcendental or spiritual Vrindavan. So here Lord Krishna is narrating very nicely, and these bees are humming around you like the sages. These bees, they are constantly getting the parag, which is the honey from the flowers. Yet at the same time, when these bees are getting, and then looking at the beauty of Lord Krishna, these bees were getting intoxicated, losing themselves. And they're constantly humming around Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna. And Lord Balaram, Lord Krishna are, wearing a nice garland made of forest flowers. They are nicely, as we heard, from the berries, they are having those earrings. And they are walking barefoot. Now, earlier, there are a lot of descriptions, because this is a summary and Shukdev Goswami is describing. There is a lot of more given in other scriptures as well, as we hear as how Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, because they were walking barefoot, later on, Devaki becomes upset with Yashoda Mai, saying that you did not even give slippers to my son when he was going for cow tending. And all the gopis, they are in constant anxiety that Krishna has left the house and he's barefoot wandering in the forest. And walking in forest is not easy, because there are thorns everywhere, the bushes everywhere, sharp, areas and so forth. And there are pebbles which could be very sharp as well. They could hurt you as you walk on them. Yet at the same time, we understand that in the transcendental spiritual Vrindavan, there is no such case. Everything is very nice. And even the stone is Chintamani, touchstone. And when Lord Brahma, when he was singing the prayers, we heard as how Lord Brahma was praying that he would like to be a blade of grass, a creeper in Vrindavan. And even outskirts of Vrindavan, he would like to be. Why? Because he would like to get the charan raj, the dust from the lotus feet of the residents of Vrindavan. And he even said that he would like to be at least a stone. So he was even agreeing to be a stone. And everything is alive, everything has consciousness in the spiritual Vrindavan. So this is where, this, and so beautiful narrations comes that even in the month of Kartik, everything is spring-like, everything is beautiful. And all the boys are running around, playing together, spending the time. And at that time, as they are, having this joking among themselves, and Sri Rama is wrestling with Lord Krishna, and of course, Lord Krishna would let Sri Rama win every time. Right? We have Stot Krishna there, we have Arjun there. This is a different Arjun, not the Arjun of Kurukshetra. This is a cowherd Arjun. And there's Devaprastha there, so all his cowherd friends are there. Lord Krishna is playing with them. And at that time, Sri Rama and Stot Krishna, they come one day to tell Krishna that, oh Krishna, and this is not out of envy, not out of, to test someone, not to challenge, but it's because of the affection they have towards Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. So in their loving way they are expressing that, oh Krishna, just little far from here, little distance. So again in the scriptures it's given that Mathura is about 18 miles and then this place, Taluvan, is about 8 miles. This is what I have read. So this is the distance, about 8 miles. So again, little, ahead of this place, after you cross Vrindavan, is Taluvan. And there are amazing fruits. They have a lot of palm trees. Tal is palm trees. So there's these trees, they have amazing fruits and the fragrance is intoxicating and it's alluring us, but everyone is afraid. Everyone is afraid to go there. Nobody can even touch, even though the ripened fruits, they have fallen onto the ground, nobody can pick it up. Why? Because a demon lives there. His name is Dhenuka. He has taken the body of an ass. So this is the ass demon, Dhenuka. So this demon is known to have eaten a man alive. And so nobody can go in that place. And this is a public park, right? It's a public place. So it's open for everyone. But however, this demon has created his reign. He has basically called it his area and he has not allowed anyone to take anything from this. And also it's revealed in the scriptures that this Dhenukasur is also a friend of Kans, the king of Mathura, maternal uncle of Lord Krishna. So again, here they are saying that you should just kill him. And who are they pleading? They are pleading to Balaram. Now there is a very interesting aspect, that they had seen Lord Krishna kill all the demons. But this provocation is coming first to Balaram and then to Krishna. And there is a very nice example, as we will hear later on, as why does this happen? Why is it that they are asking Balaram and not Krishna directly? And then they ask Krishna. So they are saying, you two brothers are so powerful, you're so strong. Please, we would like to taste. And of course, Madhu Mangal, he loves to eat. He's a Brahman's son and he loves to eat sweets and the fruits, and he is showing with his expression that I would really like to relish those fruits. And what is it there? Once again, Lord Krishna wants to satisfy his friends who are his great devotees, who are constantly serving him. So just to satisfy his friends in a loving exchange manner, Balaram and Krishna, they get up and they head over to Taluvan. Now it's very interesting that when they reach the Taluvan, Lord Krishna and all the boys are actually staying outside. It appears even that all the boys are scared of Dhenukasur, the ass demon. Yet at the same time, when Krishna is staying out, and Lord Balaram goes in there and he starts shaking the trees vigorously. As he's shaking the trees, what happens? The ripened fruit, they start falling. Yet at the same time, his shaking is so vigorous that Dhenukasur, the ass demon who was sleeping, wakes up, hearing this tumultuous sound and trying to understand who has come in his area, right? This is his area, this is his place, and who has come and challenged him. And he sees Lord Balaram there. So at that time he attacks Lord Balaram. And the ass has the tendency of turning around and attacking with the hind limbs. So he attacks Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram immediately goes and catches him and throws him. So again there is some fight that ensues. And in Garg Samhita it's very nicely given how the fight goes on. It's very interesting also to see how Lord Krishna also participates in this fight. Some of the interesting aspects from Garg Samhita that comes about this particular incident is that was the time that Dhenuka uprooted Govardhan hill and threw it at Krishna, and Krishna caught it. Krishna threw it at Dhenukasur, and Dhenukasur caught it and threw it back to Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna caught it and put it at its place where the hill was. And then they started fighting, and then finally when he attacked Lord Balaram held his legs and whirled him around and threw him. He fell 8 miles down. In this particular chapter is given that Lord Balaram, when he attacked, he immediately caught hold of his hind limbs and threw him up upon a tal tree, a palm tree. And that's where, because of his weight, all the nearby trees also came crushing down. And at that time, to avenge the death of their friend Dhenuka, all his other friends who had also assumed the form of asses, so they also came and attacked Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. And at that time, Lord Krishna and Balaram, Lord Balaram, they picked up these and whirled them, holding their hind limbs, and threw them on top of palm trees. And he said that a beautiful scene was created where these, the friends of Dhenuka, who were also demons, were, landing on top of the palm trees, and they had different colors. The bodies had different colors. So it would appear like multicolored clouds have suddenly appeared in the sky. And of course, because of the shaking and all the, crashing of their bodies onto the palm trees, the fruits would fall down. And all the cowherd boys would go and gather the fruits. And that's how they relished the fruits. And then when they came back home, this is where they, narrated as how Lord Krishna had killed Dhenuka, so the ass demon. And now Talwan is open for, the residents of Vrindavan and all the neighboring people, the villages, so that people can go and enjoy the fruits at this place. Now here's a question can be asked, that why is it that it is Balaram? So again, when Narad Muni is narrating this story to the king, at that time in Garg Samhita, this question is asked. And at that time, Narad Muni reveals that this Dhenukasura in his previous life was son of Bali Maharaj. And so, Hare Krishna. His name was Sahashira. I was trying to look for it. So yes, I remember. His name was Sahashira, and he was enjoying with 10,000 women in a hill called Gandhamadana mountain. So again, the Gandhamadana mountain, he was enjoying, and they were playing music, and he was enjoying with these 10,000 women. And at that time, Durvasa Muni was in meditation. So Durvasa Muni, his meditation is disturbed, and he's very angry. And he comes immediately and said, "You're just like an ass. You become an ass. You don't understand that you're creating so much disturbance, so much noise." And so, as soon as he's cursed, he immediately falls down at the lotus feet of Durvasa Muni and asks for forgiveness, realizing that he has committed a great offense. And at that time, Durvasa Muni, being compassionate, says, "Okay, you will be delivered by Balaram." So when you will become an ass after 400,000 years, you will be delivered by Balaram himself. So here, when Lord Balaram has killed Dhenukasura, and of course, Lord Krishna, when he appeared as Vaman Dev, he had given a boon to Bali Maharaj, that he would not kill any of the descendants of Bali Maharaj. So he is keeping that vow, yet at the same time Balaram is killing. Now it's very interesting, sometimes we see these kind of changes, and there are some interesting incidents from Srila Prabhupada's life. So there are a group of people, they're always trying to challenge spiritualists, they are basically going to Christians and saying, "Can your God create a stone so heavy that he cannot lift?" Those kind of things. And if somebody says yes, they would say, "Oh, so there is a stone that he cannot lift, so he cannot be God." So that's their way of saying, they're theistic by nature. So they're saying there is no God. That's the way they are expressing it. So they happen to approach Srila Prabhupada. And on one occasion when they asked this question, Srila Prabhupada said, "Yes, Krishna can create a stone so heavy that he cannot lift. But in the next moment, Balaram will lift it." So he's defeating the very argument. And then on another occasion, when he's asked that question, so he gives a different answer. So all answers are true coming from the acharyas. He says, "Yes, Krishna can create a stone so heavy that he cannot lift. But in the next moment, he will have the strength to lift it." So this is Krishna who's always expanding, right? Adyam Anantarupam. So again, he has unlimited forms, unlimited pastimes, and he keeps expanding his pastimes. So he can always pick up something that can show to go to the next level. So he's unlimited. And we should understand from that perspective that as various aspects come in our life, taking shelter of Lord Krishna is a simple solution. And now here, Lord Krishna has given this boon to Bali Maharaj, so it is Lord Balaram who is incited and who kills Dhenukasura, the ass demon. Now as Lord Balaram kills ass demon, there are some anarthas. So there is a special occasion, Lord Balaram in Vrindavan kills only 2 demons. And so this is the first demon, Dhenukasura. And what does Dhenukasur mean? Means again, when we hear about Dhenukasur, we have been talking about the different anarthas. Anartha nivriti happens, right? When we engage in bhajana kriya, bhaj is much. So the impurities in our heart are cleansed when we hear Lord Krishna's pastimes. And also one simple way to continue to clear any impurity in our heart is just by chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. But to remove the anarthas, when the demons have been killed by Lord Balaram, has a special condition, has a special circumstances that needs to be met. And that is, the devotee has to make an endeavor to try to remove these. So he's constantly aspiring to remove the anarthas. But what is the anartha? What kind of anartha you get rid of when you hear the story of the killing of ass demon Dhenukasur? So Dhenukasur represents gross materialistic intelligence and complete darkness or ignorance of spiritual knowledge. So when you have that materialistic mindset, you find it hard to believe in God. At that time, if you hear Dhenukasur and then you feel, you understand that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, and you want to really wish and you continue to pray to get rid of this materialistic intelligence and reawaken your spiritual consciousness, to be able to surrender to Lord Krishna, to be able to establish that relationship with Lord Krishna, and to get out of this cycle of birth and death that we are all caught and constantly suffering. If you want to end your suffering, then you want to hear about this incident and pray to Lord Krishna at his lotus feet and Lord Balaram, and continue to make an endeavor to hear about Lord Krishna, his name, form, activities and pastimes. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udarihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. Akama sarva kamo va. Even if you have no desire, akama. So sometimes people say, wait a minute, how can you have no desire? Because the soul is active by nature. Consciousness is a symptom of soul. It's always active, so there is always desire. What is being said here by Sutta Goswami is that when you have desire not to satisfy your senses, but rather to serve Lord Krishna, to serve Lord Balaram, to serve the spiritual master, to serve the pure devotees of the Lord, to serve the Vaishnavas, when you have that desire, that is akama. Sarva kamo. And if you have all kind of desires, all kind of material desires for sense gratification, moksha kama, even if you have the desire to attain liberation, to get out of this material world and attain liberation, moksha, attain some spiritual realm, even at the Brahman level. If you have that desire, even this is recommended even for the Jnanis, the Jnana yogis, as they are constantly engaged in mental speculation. Tivrena bhakti yogena. So with great enthusiasm, with great determination, with patience, yet at the same time with determined focus in that direction of serving the lotus feet, bhakti yogena, yajate purusham, engage in devotional service of the Lord and continue to serve the lotus feet of the Lord by performing devotional service to satisfy him and his senses. So again, that's how we should be looking at. So again, here, as we hear, as Lord Balaram is killing Dhenukasur, so this anartha nivriti is there. So again, to remove this anartha, a devotee makes an endeavor, while at the same time with the focus of constantly in a prayerful mood, that please let me get rid of this anartha. Let my material intelligence, be removed and my spiritual intelligence be awakened. Instead of associating with the body as all in all, we want to associate and understand our soul, and we want to establish that connection with Lord Krishna, with Lord Balaram. And of course, Lord Krishna appears outside as Chaitya Guru, as the spiritual master. So he is Chaitya Guru as super soul in our heart, and he brings our spiritual master to us. So again, we can take shelter of spiritual master. And there is a process that needs to be followed. So when you are under the guidance of a spiritual master, under the guidance of the sadhus, the Vaishnavas, and you are engaged in their service, then you are able to attain this blessing so that this anartha will go away. Now when you think of this, doesn't it remind you of Damodar Leela? because there are two things required. Every time Mother Yashoda was trying to tie Lord Krishna, it was falling short by 2 fingers. That distance. And what do they represent? R and Jiva and Lord's mercy. So here in this particular case, well, Lord Krishna kills anarthas, means all the demons, that automatically takes care of anartha. But when Lord Balaram kills a demon, at that time we have to make our endeavor, yet at the same time, continue to pray for Lord's mercy. Just like Saint Augustine, he said, work as if everything depends on you and pray as if everything depends on the God. So again, this is our attitude, that we should continue to make an endeavor in our efforts to spiritually advance. Yet at the same time, we are completely relying at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna that he can bestow the mercy on us so we can become eligible to be able to advance successfully without impediments. So this is where this particular chapter is ending, yet at the same time, we are also learning very interesting lessons here. And what happens afterwards? You will say, okay, when Aghasur died, at that time the light came out and it lingered on. What happened when Dhenuka is killed? Right? Sahasira, the son of Bali Maharaj, he has taken birth as Dhenuka because of the curse he got from Durvasamana. Yet at the same time, what happens is, as Dhenuka is killed, it's in Garg Samhita. So I'm giving you the reference also. And when Dhenuka is killed, from his body arises a very handsome personality, a man with dark complexion, wearing golden yellow, means again golden clothes, and a great chariot descends with hundreds of wheels, with charioteers and many other personalities, and he is able to get onto that, and he is able to go back to Goloka. So sometimes we hear that, oh, Lord Krishna, when he delivers a demon, goes back home. Here, Lord Balaram. So again, there was some confusion. I used to always look at some references where I was discussing with other devotees, and they were saying, no, when somebody is killed by Lord Balaram, they don't go back home, back to Godhead. They have to continue to engage. But then in Garg Samhita, I read it very clearly. I investigated, I researched, and I looked at other references as well, and found out that even from Lord Balaram, one goes back to Goloka. So here, Dhenuka being killed, he's delivered, and then at the same time, he's Sahasira, he's able to go back home, back to Goloka. So such is the wonderful pastime that Lord is, showing, Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna. And now they are continuing to do the cow herding. They are taking the cows for tending to the forest. And it once so happens that as Lord Krishna, is with his cowherd boys, so sometimes Lord Krishna would go alone, sometimes Balaram would come. Just like in case of when we saw the scenario of killing of Aghasur and Brahma Vimohan Lila, at that time Balaram stayed home, he didn't come. So on this occasion also, Balaram stayed home, he didn't come, and Lord Krishna had gone, for tending the cows with other cowherd boys, and those cowherd boys, and they were feeling thirsty, the cows were feeling thirsty, so they went to the lake near Yamuna. And this lake, the water was, poisonous because of the poison of Kaliya. So there was a great serpent Kaliya. Because of his venom, the whole lake the water had turned poisonous. So when the boys, they drank this water because of thirst, they couldn't stop themselves, they drank this poison. And they immediately felt the effect of that poison, and the cows felt the effect, and they fell on the ground and they were dead. At that time, Lord Krishna, he just with his glance, he was able to bring them back to life. And they looked at Krishna, who is Yogeshwara, who is the Ishvara, the supreme among all the mystics. Admiring looks, they are looking at it. So anytime, even if we are going through trouble, all we need to do is remember the lotus feet of the Lord, and then continue to do our service. Again, we could be in troublesome situation, because that's what we hear about. What's the definition of pure devotion service? Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyana. So here, anya bhilashita is the word used, not anya bhilasha. So it's not, if Anyabhilasha was used, means at any time the devotees won't have any desire. However, the word Anyabhilashita is being used, which means the devotees don't have any desire for sense gratification. But if the devotee feels any danger to his life, at that time the devotee calls out for the Lord. She calls out the Lord's name, "Oh Govinda, please come and save me." And we'll hear many such incidents as they will continue to read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, that the devotees are calling out to the Lord for help. And Lord, He comes because He loves His devotees so much. Paritrāṇaya sadhanam. He is always trying to protect His devotees. So He is always there protecting His devotees. So Lord Krishna in this incident protects all the cowherd boys as well as the cows, and they are looking at Him in a very admiring ways and are very thankful to Him for having saved their lives. And this is where Shukdev Goswami ends this lesson, giving us a hint. And then afterwards we hear as how in the next chapter Lord, He rides away Kaliya away from the Yamuna, the lake near Yamuna, from the Yamuna river. So the water was poisoned. So again in the next chapter we will hear more about that. In this chapter, this is where the coverage is, that the Lord brings back all His cowherd boys who had fallen dead on the bank of this lake, the Yamuna river. There was a lake near that. And there is also a very nice story that we'll be covering as why Kaliya came and resided in this lake, and how he was able to go back and was also able to sustain his life. So we'll be hearing a lot more about that in the next class. But here one of the things is, if you want to get rid of gross materialistic intelligence, if you want to reawaken your spiritual consciousness, if you want to take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, if you want to rekindle that relationship with Lord Krishna, please read this chapter, please hear this chapter and meditate on Lord Balaram, who is Adi Guru. He is the first Guru, and he is constantly, what is his purpose? As a Guru, he is teaching us how to serve Krishna, so that we can continue to serve Krishna in disciplic succession. So there is also a process, and this process is also very important to understand. So even we are taking shelter of Lord Balaram, which also means that we are also taking shelter of our spiritual master. And once it was so that Srila Prabhupada, I'm reminded of one incident where Srila Prabhupada had a disciple who had first taken to sannyas, then he had given up sannyas, then he had basically grown long hair, and because that was the time in the 70s, people men like to keep long hair and fancy it and a little beard and so forth. So he was coming to the temple to meet Srila Prabhupada and other devotees, and he fancied becoming sannyasi, he becoming guru, not sannyasi, becoming guru, spiritual master. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada kind of reminded him that there is a process. So Srila Prabhupada, when he said, "Srila Prabhupada, do you like this?" Srila Prabhupada said, "I like this," showing him clean-headed, shaven head and shaven face and so forth. And told him very clearly that you have to follow the process. If you want to be successful, you have to follow the process. And Lord Krishna reveals it in Bhagavad Gita. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya updeshyanti tajnanam jnani nastatva darshana. Lord Krishna is telling us, tad vidhi, as per the prescribed process. So there is a prescription. So if you have headache, again, people know what medicine to take, but if you have of ailment that you don't know how to cure, you just don't go in the market and pick up whatever medicine you like and eat it, because you need the proper prescription from the doctor. So you go to the doctor diagnoses what kind of ailment you have, and then based on what they have seen, based on the experiments, what has been proven, that's what they do. But their science is still ascending science. This is descending science coming from Lord Krishna. Pure spiritual knowledge is coming. Clear information is given. So when we are looking to advance spiritually, we take shelter of a spiritual master as per the prescribed process. We follow the 4 regulative principles. We follow the chanting of the holy name, prescribed number of rounds, minimum number of rounds. So 60 rounds a day is actually a minimum count. There is no maximum count. You can count all day. You can keep chanting all day. Yet at the same time, I've seen sometimes devotees, they're chanting, and if you ask them to help you with some of the activities, then they say, oh, give him service, give them service. Well, the chanting is asking for service, asking the Lord, praying to the Lord to please give us devotion service. Yet at the same time, when they get an opportunity to engage in devotion service, they are more attached to chanting and not engaging in devotion service, and they're pushing it to others. Well, there's a great opportunity where we are homebound at this particular time. We should take this opportunity to, have just, virtual satsang at our home, kirtan at our home, classes, reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, talking about Krishna, his name, form, activities, pastimes, how he wonderfully performed various activities, how he interacted lovingly with the residents of Vrindavan. We should be discussing this all the time. This is a great opportunity. No one is pushing us to go to work. No one is pushing us to go and face the world out there. We should take advantage. So this is it's an opportunity. Sometimes we call it runs in ruins. So even if we see there is some adversity because of coronavirus, but we have an opportunity at our hand, and we should avail this opportunity. We should utilize this opportunity to continue to advance in our spiritual journey. So here in this particular chapter, we hear as how Dhenuka represents the gross materialistic intelligence and the ignorance of darkness from ignorance of spiritual knowledge. So that's complete darkness if you don't have any spiritual knowledge. Krishna Surisama Maya here and Dhakara. Krishna is like sun and material energy is like the darkness. So we don't want to stay in darkness. Sometimes people say, they're sitting inside a closed room, dark room, and they're saying, well, I don't think there is sun. We have to walk out of that room. It's daytime. Sun is out there. You need to come in the light of the sun. You have to face the sun. You have to make an endeavor to come out of their comfort zone and make the little endeavor to come towards Krishna. And if you take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes 10 steps towards you. And we should be following the process. And so one of the process is to take to the shelter of a spiritual master, serve the spiritual master, and then humbly inquire from the spiritual master about the absolute truth. And Jnaninastu Dashna, since they have seen the truth, the absolute truth, they have realized the absolute truth, they are able to impart that the truth to us. And with that, I'm also reminded of a very nice story. When Srila Prabhupada, he was visiting an Indian gentleman at his home, and this Indian gentleman, Srila Prabhupada and many of his disciples were there. This Indian gentleman had given a small statue of Krishna to Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada, had this small, statue, deity of Krishna. So this, he showed it and gave it to another devotee, and that devotee is Saraswati, the daughter of Shamsundar Prabhu and Malti Mataji. She was there and she was running, so they were like passing around, and she was trying to find this, where is Krishna, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? And then suddenly, they passed it and came in the hand of Srila Prabhupada, and he was holding it. And then she was looking puzzling, she was puzzled, who has Krishna? And then somebody said, so Saraswati, who has Krishna? And then she immediately said, oh, Prabhupada has Krishna, Prabhupada has Krishna. And she immediately, smiled and coming to Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada gave her the details. So again, it's very nice that, one who has Krishna can give you Krishna. This is a message, but it comes in a very subtle manner if you understand that how Srila Prabhupada in a loving manner is able to give us all Krishna. He has given his translated ecstasies in his books, and his disciples have even extended the work that was continued, and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was completed by his disciples, and they did extensive study to complete these the remaining chapters of the 10th canto as well as 11th and 12th canto to be able to finish it. And they still were referring to many transcendental ecstasies of Srila Prabhupada from Krishna book and his other writings in Bhagavad Gita and so forth. So we should take advantage of this facility that we have. We should take an advantage of the satsang, that an opportunity that we have. And so, this is where we would like to end the class today. And we hope that you will continue to, hear about Krishna, chant about Krishna, and continue to chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Gantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol. So let's do a little kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.